vehicles, and we are thrilled to have you with us today.
All right, hey everybody.
Really exciting stuff. It's going to be a really cool day.
Let's see, make sure I got everything set up right.
The hype in the community is already a fever pitch, and I think hopefully that'll continue as we've got loads of cool things to show you, and just revel in loads of really cool Warhammer 40,000 things.
Right, we can see the chat is already just absolutely bursting with folks. If you've joined us from somewhere unusual, I mean, we're in British Standard Time here, but there must be people from around the world. My good friends in California have signed in. Let us know in the chat where you're from, where you've signed in from, and say hello. It's lovely to have you.
East Coast USA.
Are you excited?
I'm super excited. I think everybody is. It's always a pleasure to do these previews. We always have. We try to have a cool lineup of things to get people interested in. We know that this one is going to be Warhammer 40,000 themed, so I'd imagine we've got lots of 40k fans in the chat ready to see what.
Gotta pause on the mute real quick. So obviously, we're still 15 minutes ahead. So this is just kind of like a pre-game thing. So I want to get to it. I'm pretty excited here. So.
There's electric tension in the air as we built into this one. I know everybody in the Warhammer community team has really sort of blown the doors off of the efforts they've put in building the videos and the reveal pictures. And all this obviously comes down to the amazing things outputted by the Warhammer studio. So I'm just super hyped. Chat, what do you think we're going to show? Give us your suggestions. I'll address the squig off in the room. There have been some rumours.
Rude way to talk about me.
The rumor leaks already.
There's some rumours going around on the internet. If you're here, you've come to the right place to discover the truth. So it's lovely to have you with us.
Yes,
and over the next little while, we're going to be revealing some truly awesome stuff. If you've got friends who are into Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 in particular, and you think that they might like to be on the ground floor as the news starts to break, drop them a line, send them the link, and send them right here. The more the merrier. We want everybody to enjoy this this time with us. Eddie, this preview is going to work a little bit differently to the ones we've done before. How's it going to work?
So for those of you who tuned into our previews currently, some of the format will be familiar. It's obviously we're live here on Twitch. We're also over on the Warhammer community website with an article updating things as and when they get revealed. We will be joined by a series of guests. Unlike some of the previous previews that we've had, though, we have a slightly wider range of guests joining us. We also have a few kind of group chats as well, where we've got some people from the community and from the studio teams behind Warhammer 40,000 to kind of come on and talk about some of the things that we're showing off today.
Interesting.
Sure. And I think one of the major differences, obviously, if you've ever been to a Warhammer preview at one of the events that we do, the first thing you'll notice that's different is that we're not live and in person. The world is in a curious place at the moment. It's been really nice to continue doing these. In fact, up the number that we're doing to maintain that sort of communication with you, the awesome Warhammer community out there. What's it like for you, sort of sitting at home in your living room, talking to thousands of people compared to an event, Eddie?
So it's obviously different. So we've done a few of these previews now. This is the fourth one. So I think we're getting into the hang of it in terms of how they work and how the kind of how they feel. They do feel different from doing it in person.
Yeah, I just want to do another quick disclaimer. I do have 3 kids running around the house. They're starting to wake up and stir and stuff, so there may be some interruption. You may see a door swing open, a little kid head pop in, so please just bear with me with all that. But yeah, that may happen, most likely will happen, especially once my son gets up and going. He's, likes to pop in and see what dad's up to, so that may happen. But yeah, so this should be a very interesting preview for sure. And then, like I've done in the past, like I'll have this up, kind of the big raw, kind of like uncut kind of reaction stream to their stream. But then I'll also make like another kind of just meat and potatoes video where I'll just go through the community article and kind of like, again, kind of recap kind of some of my thoughts on what they revealed. So look out for that as well.
There's a box around the world.
There's got to be a chance. There's got to be a chance. I should probably introduce the third member of our broadcast panel. You won't see him. You probably won't hear him. But manning the technology is the one and only Ben Bailey, who'll be keeping us straight, and we'll see little images on our screens flash up if there's anything we've forgotten to do or we need to move along faster. But huge props to Ben, who's
10 minutes. Come on.
Warhammer TV.
Wanted to start early, but I know they won't.
Up and going during this pandemic lockdown time. So, Eddie, 2 talking points I want to go through before we all get started. The first is, we've seen a bunch of stuff from Warhammer 40,000 in the previews up to now that hasn't come out yet, all connected to Psychic Awakening. I wondered if you wouldn't mind recapping with us a little bit of the Psychic Awakening stuff that's right on the doorstep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Psychic Awakening is obviously a big event for Warhammer 40,000. We're starting to see psychers across the galaxy become more and more of them appear, and the ones that there are in the galaxy are becoming more and more powerful and more prominent, having major roles to play in the unfolding story of Warhammer 40,000. So we've seen a lot of those already, and we know that there are 3 more books on the way for Psychic Awakening. The first of those is Engine War. So Engine War is a book that will include the Adeptus Mechanicus, Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, and Chaos Demons. So this, as you'd imagine, is a massive war for a Forge world. There, kind of the sacred technology is up for grabs to either be protected or despoiled. Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights are having kind of unholy jousts across the planet. Chaos Demons are going to be manifesting from the warp to kind of crash into legions of Skitarii. It's going to be pretty cool. So we know that's on the way. That's going to be the next one, and it's going to be pretty soon. We also know that new releases starting up again pretty soon, so that might not be too far off at all. The next
news indeed.
Yeah, so the next one we've got is War of the Spider, which we've seen a little bit of as well. Which the Spider it's referring to is Fabius Bile, who is the Clone Lord, one of the kind of biggest players in Warhammer 40,000, really, in terms of kind of his grand plan for the 41st millennium. So he is a kind of scientist and experimenter, but with a very kind of evil supervillain sort of vibe to him. So he's
The other thing I kind of wanted to point out, so the rumor, they had like an FAQ that was supposedly leaked, and then some 3D model pictures and stuff. I definitely hope a lot of those are true, because there's a melee Primaris unit, some Outrider bikes, which was probably seen in that very pixelated picture that we've seen in the past. But the other thing in there was the FAQ itself is like, how is there already frequently asked questions when they're just now about to potentially, if the rumor's true, announce 9th edition. But at the same time, I mean, obviously they can kind of speculate and come up with what the most common questions always are, because it's always the same questions anytime a new edition comes out. But yeah, so anyway, I just want to chime in on that real quick.
Machinations and the agents.
We'll see here.
But the forces of the Imperium and the Death Guard both want him to stop.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's anybody who's familiar with Warhammer 40,000 will know is that Chaos is definitely not a unified force.
No.
One of the great things that stops Chaos kind of overwhelming everything immediately is that Chaos does not play well with itself. The Chaos Gods have that kind of great game that they compete with each other all the time, and their servants are kind of extensions of their will. So the Death Guard are up to something that may actively oppose things that other bits of the Chaos Pantheon want to happen. And you see that even as early as, you know, in the stories of the Horus Heresy. Even before that Chaos really has become a thing, already the Chaos Gods are kind of at odds with each other. So that's the second book anyway, that's on its way. And the third one is Pariah. So Pariah is the final book in the Psychic Awakenings, the 9th book.
Final book.
Pariah is a very interesting title because it refers to a few different things. So we know that Pariah will see the return of Demonifuge, who is a Sister of Battle character, the kind of heretic saint, kind of not quite understood power, which either comes from faith or possibly chaos or possibly the Emperor or possibly none or all of the above. And then you have the kind of Harlequin bodyguard as well.
Might as well work on a few things while I'm sitting here waiting. I've got the Blackstone Fortress Annual 2019.
The Illuminor.
Let me mute them real quick, because they're just recapping stuff we've already gone. So if you haven't, I mean, it's out there. My guess is most people probably have already heard of. But anyway, so I picked this up. I'm pretty excited because I still need to get more into Blackstone, but they like released all the White Dwarf missions and everything into this cool kind of, I don't know, almost a chapter approved, if you will. But there's also other characters in here that you can use, like the Master of Possession and stuff like that. So I've been going through and I've been trying to create, like, there's a Flash Git in here. And just these other characters like Dorg, The Wall, and Gren Knuckles, these two Organ and Bolgren characters and stuff. So trying all these other characters that are made from traditional kits that you can then use in Blackstone. Because I want to have basically all the potential adventures and characters. I've already got all the expansion packs, and then when the new ones come out, I'm going to do that. And then I plan on doing kind of like just a huge all-together campaign with all the expansions, everything together. Like, I still haven't even played it through just the base core set, but I want to throw it all together and just make like one huge, basically a campaign mission thing with all the components together. So that's my plan, my hope anyway. So yeah, so think I might actually start putting together some of these characters while they're kind of recapping and going over stuff and time in between.
When that book drops, the Adeptus Mechanicus army basically fundamentally changes. It goes from being a kind of infantry slugging army with some robot backup to being a kind of fast, dynamic army with
Talking about
cavalry
the
and flyers,
Skitarii with the new
all sorts of extra
cool robot
options,
horses and
combinations.
stuff.
I think the Archaeopter is one of the most just dazzling looking models I've ever seen. It's the incredible combination of sort of Leonardo da Vinci-esque imagery with sort of full-on imperial bombast and pomp.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see those on the tables.
And to see what people do with them as well, because I mean, we've only seen it in one colour scheme so far. One of the coolest things, even when you see the models, I'm sure you'll know, you get to see the models a little bit ahead of time sometimes. And we always see them in the heavy metal colour scheme, which is always immaculately done. But then seeing what the community does with those when they get their hands on them, like you're going to see like weird rusted versions, you're going to see odd conversions, you're going to see incredible new paint jobs. It's got nice big panels to do kind of awesome. It's going to be cool. I'm just looking forward to seeing people do it. Really.
Yeah, you and me both. The chat is absolutely bursting with people who are calling out the things that they're excited to see. Some of them are completely wild. They're telling us where they're from. I saw a post from Cornwall, right down on the west.
Everybody loves to see loads of flags. I think that's everyone's favourite thing to post in Twitch chat.
Right. So
flags.
drop your flag. Show us where you're from. That's really cool. Loads of people just obviously super excited. Somebody from Southampton, which is literally where I grew up. Pretty nice. Somebody's excited to see Adam Trope. Well, that's it. I'm
always excited to see Adam Trope.
You can literally log off mission accomplished or tell your friends.
Hey everybody, Adam's live. He's talking about something Warhammer stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess last thing before we jump in, have you managed to get any hobby in while you've been on lockdown?
So I've got a little bit of hobby done.
I had a lot of.
Week, so I haven't got much done this week because we've been getting everything ready.
I don't know how you want to say it.
We get to show off. But I have been doing a little bit of orc
Big
hobby.
slowdown in hobbying lately.
So this week I've been building
my life
some
work.
War stuff.
It's kind of crazy.
The other day?
It was, yeah. So I got
Awesome.
the Mega Track Scrapjet, and I've got a Death Killer War Trike, and mine will be pulled by a squig.
Awesome.
Have you got any hobby?
So my hobby is mostly contained. I have a weekly hobby catch up with some friends. We jump on Discord and we have a little video chat. I've been working on Imperial Knights and Titans for Adeptus Titanicus. So I've now finished all of my little Imperial Knight models, the kiddie ones, and I promised myself when I'd done those I could start on the Warbringer. But then I got distracted because while I was mowing the lawn and doing some gardening, I listened to Valdor, Birth of the Imperium, which was awesome. And so I also went and bought an Adeptus Custodes model. I can't help myself. So
I've been catching up on the Horus Heresy Siege of Terror audiobooks. I've just got to the bit where the White Scars ride out against the Death Guard, and I'm like, I think I might need a White Scar army.
Right, that's my favourite and also least favourite thing about delving into Black Libraries. It makes me realise I just want/need more hobby. Right, somebody from Portsmouth. All sorts of people from all over around the world. If you are in the chat and you want to join in the conversation, it's going so fast we won't be able to pick out many things, but we'll try and address some topics if they come up. You need to be a subscriber to join the chat. You can do that either using an Amazon Prime subscription in the little subscribe option at the top, or you can subscribe for $4.99 a month. I don't know what that is in pounds, it'll be different. And then you can ask us questions. Regardless, you can join in, and you can also watch this stream again when we're done. The full archive is up and available for free right now, so fill your boots.
Fill your boots.
So probably people watching this one right now.
Oh yeah.
1 minute, come on, let's go. 1 minute.
Maybe you're crazy. I would stay right where you are for now. Right, is there anything else we want to cover off before we jump into it?
Jump into it.
Before we hit the big button.
1 minute. Ooh.
So Ben Bailey says we can go whenever we're ready.
Well, let's go on time. So we've got about 40 seconds left. So
there you go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shout outs. We've got shout outs for the Necrons. We've got people screaming "Wow!" There's somebody telling us they're from Nottingham, that's just down the road from us. Lovely to have you with us. Somebody wants the little guys to come back up. We awesome. Death to the Heretics. Couldn't agree more. Although Eddie will tell me my guys are the Heretics.
It's 9. It's 9. Let's do this.
There's so many of you so hyped up. People from the US joining us. People from Central Europe. I'm thrilled to have you all with us. I cannot wait to show you what we're about to show you. With no further ado, Ben, hit it.
Okay.
In the darkness between the stars, the weak and the faithless find no deliverance.
Ooh. Oh,
We are raised to believe that the God Emperor watches over us all.
to be honest with you, this was a game, but this so far is, I'm assuming, one of the animated shorts.
To cleanse the mutant, the heretic,
It's just
the alien.
beautiful. Love it.
We must not falter. We are his sword.
It almost looks like it could be a game cinematic.
Even in the face of death,
I think. Oh shit.
we shall not submit.
Okay, yeah, this is from that preview screenshot last week. Oh, her arm.
Suffering is our prayer. Faith is our armor. In battle, he offers us redemption. And for those who prove worthy, the Emperor sends forth his angels.
Yes. Yes.
Our Imperium is besieged. Across 1,000 worlds, we fight for our survival. Those that would tear humanity.
Those are the models that were rumored. Some like armor, honor guard, melee, honor guard. It's just, look at that. Heavy bolt pistols and chain swords.
There is no mercy. And in our darkest hour, a spiteful universe awakens forgotten evils to break us.
I am blown. This is awesome. This is just all.
Yet still we stand, the last bulwark against the terror. And while we draw breath, we will fight. For in this new dark age, there is only war.
There's that new logo. Yep, all those rumored leaks earlier are definitely already coming out true.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
Getting like messages from friends and stuff on here.
Eddie Eccles, and we're now joined by the Supreme Lord of the Warhammer Studio, Master of.
So we got the honor guard man. I mean, all of us confirmed that new. That was awesome. That's sweet.
Sorry.
I like the updated logo as well.
I probably can now though. So do you want to try?
Well,
Oh, no.
let's start from the top. How about that? I'm still Adam Folk, still Eddie Eccles. We're joined by Pete Foley. If you don't know, Pete Foley manages the Book and Box Games studio for the Warhammer studio. He's been heavily involved in everything to do with what you just saw. What did we just see? What is this?
So a pretty amazing picture into the 41st millennium, I think. Everyone will probably agree. And if it wasn't obvious, clearly the announcement of a brand new edition of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, an unbelievable way to.
If it wasn't,
that declaration.
Video didn't make it quite that clear, actually.
New logo.
But
What can you tell us? What happens? What happens next? What are we looking at?
Well, the culmination of the Psychic Awakening storyline that's been building up over the last 6-9 months now. We've been seeing there's a darkness forming in a corner of the galaxy, and the Necrons have been up to mischief. I obviously don't want to spoil the Psychic Awakening books too much, but it features Necrons doing bad things and trying to switch off things that they shouldn't switch off.
Nice.
Okay.
I like it. And so essentially, this all connects to that psychic awakening narrative that's been building up and coming forward. What were you trying to do with the new edition? New edition means a lot of things to a lot of new people. What does it mean to you?
So a new edition tends to be a really great opportunity for us to learn and put into practice everything that we've seen and learned over the last 3-4 years, spending time with the community, but also gives us an opportunity to put out all the crazy new ideas that we've come up with. In the studio, there tends to be a new idea every 60 seconds or so, and we have to kind of collect them all up and look for opportunities to put them out, and this is one of them. And finally, the threshold had been achieved. We had enough amazing new stuff, new ideas, new ways of making the game better that we've learned, that we've seen, that we've thought of, and a great new storyline for the 41st for the galaxy.
So Pete, of those ideas that you've pulled together and put into this new edition, which ones are you most excited to see in practice?
Oh, well, so there's lots of improvements I think we've made, which I think we'll probably talk about in a little bit more detail later. But one of the things I'm definitely most excited about is Crusade, which is a new way of playing Warhammer 40,000 with a very narrative spin.
I think I got a kid
So
here.
it's a new way of collecting
Hey,
your
buddy.
army, or a new way of it growing. It gets, every game matters.
Good morning.
I think you'll be hearing us talk a lot about Crusade over the next few months.
Look, they got a new
I think Ben
like
has just
Space
flashed up on
Marine
the screen
cartoon
a,
thing coming
a
out.
image, which maybe we can dig into a little bit more when we talk about that further on.
Really cool, bud.
Okay, so I want to talk about the trailer just for a minute, and this is the celebration, the announcement of a new edition of Warhammer 40,000. You can see some of that brilliant narrative that's occurred through the writings of your team. What's your favourite bit from that trailer? Have you had a chance to watch the whole thing properly, rather than like just that one glimpse you saw just now?
Yes, yeah, I have. I think my favourite part has to be when you get there's an even bigger new Necron,
What you up to?
like death dealing thing, which I can't talk any more about.
It's probably got a cooler name.
Yeah, it does have a much better name. I'm not saying it now. But when you think you've seen what they have to offer, then they have something even bigger. And
You don't have to stay in here if you don't want to.
threat is coming.
Right. Chat, now is the time to pump Pete for questions if you want to know anything about what you've seen in there, because I'll ask the questions.
I really want a video
Probably
game
actually
like
probably
surrounding
my
this
favourite
stuff.
bit. It's the incredible depth and roar of the bolter as the Sister of Battle fires it. I love the 40k IP and the concept that the bolt gun is just such a ridiculously dangerous and super powerful weapon. 0.75 caliber mass reactive self-propelled shells that explode inside the enemy, and to see that Sister of Battle brace for position and just unload on those Necron warriors absolutely did it for me. I've seen somebody real there in the chat has asked, were those Primaris intercessors with chainswords?
They look a lot like Primaris.
It certainly looked like
They look
Primaris.
like that.
There's one right there on the screen.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the guy you were talking about there?
I mean,
He's
I've got-
quite a lot bigger than most Necrons.
I've got a ton of
They had the Necrons, so
both chain swords and heavy bolt pistols from conversions I've done with Reavers. I could
somebody said,
easily make them up now, except I noticed
actually, no, this is a standalone thing that,
right here they all had like this, at least the sergeants seem to have this extra, but then so does he.
A really great celebration. Something that,
They have this little extra piece right here.
and there's so many cool images. Look at that Space Marine just turning
I
around.
think that
and
might be my
behind him.
favourite shot from the trailer right there. It kind of captures everything that's Warhammer 40,000, doesn't it? You've got it's a battle-hardened Space Marine with the kind of shrine of the Aquila behind him. The
See
light
what
kind of
guys they
pouring
got,
through.
buddy?
He looks like he's been through the wars and is about to.
What color are those guys?
Yeah, somebody in the chat's talking about those guardsmen sheltering behind the barricade.
What's your favorite Space Marines?
By those guys.
The blue ones?
It puts into perspective the horror
And the
of
wolf
being
ones?
a member of the Astra Militarum in like galactic war.
Yeah, no amount of +1 cover saving is going to save those guys.
It's really not. So
I think Mommy's making cinnamon rolls
we could possibly squeeze into
for
talk about.
breakfast. You
The
can have
video
one.
will go up on Warhammer Community, and you'll find it in all the right places for you to dissect at your leisure. And I'm sure we'll find time to play it later on during the reveal. We're ready to show you something else pretty awesome now.
They're gonna
and
show
it
us something
directly
else.
answers that question that Rialmir asked in the chat just a minute ago. Ben, hit it.
Let's see what they're gonna show us now. We don't know. Oh, they're showing the actual new. I guess people can't really see you. I'm gonna time myself. The new models. That's cool. Yeah, they do have like a new thing on their one greave.
A blue one.
Assault Intercessor. Yeah, it was a blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Assault Intercessors. Move this over a little bit. Chainswords are back, baby. That's what it says. Chainswords are back, baby. Did it pause? What happened? Hmm?
I paused.
Who paused it? I didn't pause it. You paused it? No. Oh, they're
Ladies
there.
and gentlemen, we are back. I'm still Eddie Crow. That is still Eddie Eccles.
Damn.
And now we are joined by Stu Black, who is the head of the 40k team
Assault
in the Warhammer studio. Welcome,
Intercessors.
Stu.
Hi Adam, hi Eddie, how you guys doing?
Very
Very
well. I can't believe how awesome this is to get to show all this stuff.
Man.
So,
Lots of new
Chainsaw
stuff,
to
buddy.
Black, baby. What did we just see?
So as you guys alluded to, that's an assault intercessor.
Yeah.
There's
He's
nothing
kinda
more
quiet.
40k than a sword. There's also a chainsaw.
You're doing
And
video?
we thought it was about time. We had
Yeah.
units of those guys, and close combat, Primaris Marines is probably the thing that we've been asked for most, apart, over the last couple of years. And we really wanted to release them in style. So there you go.
Love it.
Do they have a
Absolutely.
vehicle
The
other that they can
quintessential
assault
40K
out
nature
of?
a sword that doesn't just kill the person.
I guess the
you're
impulsor,
hitting,
but
splatters them over everybody nearby is really the way to go. And you see these guys like in action in the trailer that we did for the edition as well. So it's really cool to see them sort of taking it to the Necrons. Is this guy for all chapters? Can everybody get involved with assault intercessors?
They,
There he is.
they certainly can. They certainly can.
Look pretty good in red, just saying.
They do. They look pretty good in every single colour.
Especially Caliban green.
Well, it's tempting to, joke with the
Star
other
Commander
guys,
white, right?
but, it'd be
Purple
cool.
and green.
It'd be cool for the other viewers.
Dark Angels are no joke.
For the homebrew.
Yes. Come on.
As you can see there,
He's a
got
commander.
His chainsaw. He's also got a heavy bolt pistol.
And the blue
So kind
guys.
of up-gun bolt pistol. These guys are really, really good in combat.
I was gonna say, like, what makes these guys good is the heavy bolt
Waiting for
pistol.
something like this, hasn't it? There's lots
Because you
of
can shoot those in close combat. Unless they change that 9th edition.
Primaris armies, especially that we're looking for a unit to lead into battle. You've got things like Ragnar Blackbane, obviously released very recently.
Yeah,
You've
he's got his
Cassaro
foot up
Khan.
like that.
You've got
Like
characters
he's
that are
running.
like, right, boys, I'm ready to lead the charge. Who's with me?
So I'm gonna say, like, the only thing that really makes these guys really good, aside from that they keep their shock assault and all that kind of stuff, is their heavy bolt pistols. Because you can shoot them. Because like a chainsword,
And I think,
you know,
for me, I think Space
I'm
Marines-
sure the sergeant can probably take a
there's loads
power
of
fist or a
different
power
options.
sword or something
I love
else.
that kind of, like,
I assume the rest of them in the unit can only take
sort of
chainsword, heavy bolt pistol.
Forged in battle, kind of a prayer on their lips, charging into with
Building
chainsaw
this
weapons.
guy.
That guy looks like a space marine to me, even more so than
And then I'm gonna build
the guys
this
back
guy.
there in bolt rifles and bolt guns.
Yeah, and
What
that-
else?
that's
Why
also something,
you guys
you've seen in the video as
have
well.
it?
So
Yeah.
the Space Marines have a big spectrum from kind of slightly more clean kind of sci-fi warriors, which I think things like the Phobos armor troops really kind of personify, all the way through to your full gothic.
You're not.
Kind of, there's a guy with
That
his battle
it's gonna
brothers,
be your video or it's gonna be somebody else's video.
This will be one of Daddy's.
I want to what the now one's gonna be.
It'll be for Daddy. This is for games
All
that I was
looking for
trying to
dark
play.
gothic sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you like your Space Marines, you'll be
I'll
able
show
to
you in a little bit.
pick them along that spectrum in the way that you're the coolest.
That's what I
And
hear.
those assault intercessors kind of really get set off in that direction.
I guess space.
And it looked like we saw some other space marines that maybe hadn't sort of alluded to the captain with like a storm shield with a skeleton attached to it, so
All this
leaning
together.
leaning even more heavily into the
Yeah, I mean, that thing that Space Marines are, they are genetically engineered superhuman warriors from the future who are also kind of have a medieval feel to them. There's that kind of space knight vibe going on, that crusader feel. There's kinds of things that make up what Space Marines, and these models just really start to bring that to life.
That sounds great. So you think of the things? We will see some of the things in that trailer for Space Marines. Very good.
Yes.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but I want ranked sisters with chainsaws charging towards the enemy, and I want a captain skeleton on his shield. How many times does he have to replace that during a campaign? Do you reckon? Does he get a new fresh skeleton each time?
Just whichever one of his guys died the most bravely.
I love it.
It's like a promotion sort of. So he's gone a little bit past Dreadnought. We have to put him on the shield.
It makes people not look forward to their performance review, right?
Yeah. As an orc player as well, I'm very much looking forward to having a good scrap with some of those Space Marine chainsaws as well. That good melee combat.
Yeah, they really give us, in Space Marine players, like myself, another way of using Space Marines. You know, there is that kind of more shooty base. You can also build a really powerful close combat force.
Yeah, and I think certain chapters are going to really enjoy that. I could imagine the Blood Angel players in the wings are probably over the moon about this.
Yeah, and Black Templars as well.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah,
Templars.
I think Black Templars especially lean into that kind of monastic,
they
sort of vibe,
said it.
even more so than some of the other ones.
Can
So,
you cry?
so we'll see loads of these going.
Yep.
So, I've got a couple of questions. As the lead on all things 40k here at Games Workshop, my first question for you is, what are you working on hobby at the moment?
So two things. One, unsurprisingly, Space Marines. Got my own
Love it.
chapter. And I realised as we went into lockdown here in the UK, I was nearly at a full battle company.
No, you got a lot of
Primaris
stuff
Marines for my
in
Iron
it.
Hawks, so
Yeah,
that
you
became a bit of a
can
kind of quarantine goal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I've also
build 'em
been
first.
tempted by the
What
flip
time?
side.
What time
It's a
he
great
said?
shot.
Yeah,
What time
everything's
is
gonna
that?
kind of
He has a
lurking
mask
around the edges of my
For-
So he doesn't get the virus.
just some blips around the edge of the gate station.
Exactly.
As you approach them, will
Space
manifest into
Marines
you.
No.
Exactly that.
Yes.
Exactly that.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
And this,
This is a
question
good
that
guy
will,
or bad
maybe
guy?
fuel some debate in the chat.
Good guy.
As the lead on 40k, once and for all, which is the one-eyed lunatic decides to go space fishing, and the rest is history. Poor old Astra Militarum. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Back, my internet went out. I don't know, but we're back. So I guess I missed some Necron stuff. I'm not sure if I missed anything else, but yeah. So we're back.
Warhammer 40,000 pop figures, like a totem. One of the questions I've often had is, what's the effect of gore slayers and gory descriptions? And so to see someone literally get dissolved by it is pretty rad.
No. What is going
He
on?
won there, isn't it?
My internet. I do not know what's going on.
Yeah, I've poked the this. Some people apparently like Magnus.
I like
The answer is there in the little list. Number 1, Dark Angels, all the rest somewhere below.
I thought it was inverse order.
No. Yeah, apparently it's not a good time to be a guardsman, and somebody said it's always a good time to be a guardsman.
I mean, there's plenty of bayonet charges in the future. If that's what you're living for, then you're going to have the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'll take a couple more questions out of the chat if anybody throws something good up in there. Otherwise, we can move on to the next section.
There's
Adam, what's on my cup? I have a officially licensed Inquisition mug. It's my favourite mug in the whole world. So people rad.
It's also the mug that no one expected.
Right. And on the back it says, although today everything we've told you is the truth, it says everything you've been told is a lie. And I dishwashed it, so it's always there, but when I first got it, it would change colour with hot water. I'm not sure that's why we're here today, though. Brings me to the question. Some of the questions are quite silly. Somebody says, what did you miss? Well, if you are just joining us, first of all, welcome. It's lovely to have you. You haven't missed anything, because it will all exist on the Warhammer community website when we're done, and you can re-watch this entire stream when we're completed. But what you have joined, more importantly, is the big Warhammer 40,000 preview, where we have announced the coming of the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, with an amazing trailer showing Space Marines and Sister Battle and some poor guardsmen fighting in epic battle against Necrons. We've shown a brand new Primaris Assault Intercessor who looks the bomb. We've shown creepy Necron warriors.
Looks
We're
alright.
getting ready to do
Will
a
I
jump
get
in a
them?
moment
Of course.
to the next topic, which connects to
But
everything
it does
we
suck.
talked about
Reavers are
in a really
pointless.
interesting and compelling way.
They
Eddie, anything you would
they
add
can
before
deep
we make
strike,
the
but
next
that's
No, I don't think so.
Still
really.
gotta try to charge them.
Saying if you are joining us and you didn't yet get
The
a chance to
9-inch
watch
charge with no buffs
the
to
new
it.
cinematic trailer for Warhammer 40,000, it will be up on the community site and on YouTube now, so you can watch it.
Viewers are pretty obsolete right now.
Later in the stream as well, so if you don't want to miss anything, stay tuned. We'll have more, and you can find it all later on if you need to.
You don't need to go anywhere. We're going to be showing you loads more cool stuff, and it will all exist when we're done. Right. Speaking of that jump that we mentioned before, Ben Bailey has racked up the next video. Thank you, Stu, for joining us. We'll see you again shortly, I would hope. Hit the button, Ben.
All right, let's go. Universe. Oh, is this the Crusade thing, the new narrative way to play? Maybe, maybe not. Horus Heresy. I think that's what this might be. Where you can kind of create your own. Dawn of Fire. Okay, maybe not. First Battles of the New Age. Oh. Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. I am still Adam Troke. This is still Eddie Eccles, and we are delighted to welcome you back again to the Warhammer 40,000 preview. We just watched a pretty awesome trailer, Eddie. What do you know?
Right, so Dawn of Fire, it is a brand new series coming from Black Library. It's from the teams that brought you series like the Horus Heresy and from the Beast Arises, and loads of other great stories like that. But very excitingly, this is one that's going to tie in intrinsically to the new edition. So if you're a lore fan of Warhammer 40,000 and like library books, or even if you're lore curious and you want to know more, this is going to be a great place for you to start.
Very good. And I believe we've racked up a special guest via the medium of the internet to tell us more about it. Guy Haley is the author of that first book in the Dawn of Fire series. And because he lives in the wilds of Yorkshire somewhere and a steady internet connection is not a possibility, we have a special interview with him, which we will now show you, and then we'll be right back.
The Dawn of Fire series is the first part of a series which will look at the Indomitus era, the era of Indomitus. So it's basically the story of the Indomitus Crusade, very much in the same way that we covered the Horus Heresy as a massive, multi-arc, multi-author, huge epic that delved into the mythology and the background and the detail. And
real quick, while I'm looking at this here looks very much like Alpha and Omega. Alpha Legion. Come on, guys. What is that? I mean, obviously that's the gray chevron for the gray shields that they would have. But yeah, just interesting enough, I think.
Of interesting projects at Black Library right now.
But it's cool to finally see that chevron that they talk about in the artwork.
To perform a role called lead writer. It means that there's one person who takes sort of not creative charge, but has a slightly elevated amount of creative input into the whole process. Nick Kine, who's the managing editor of Black Library and also a Black Library author of No Small Talent, and myself are running the series. However, we are running like a writer's room, like we did with the Horus Heresy. So there's lots of familiar names involved, lots and lots of writers with lots of them.
I wonder how many books this series will
their
have.
own ideas being injected into that. And you know, to me, that's what made the Horus Heresy work so well, was that it's the agglomeration of so many creative minds. We're looking at this on two levels as coming into it. On the high level, because this is unlike the Horus Heresy, it's not a historic event. It's to a certain extent ongoing. We don't have we didn't have a story arc. So I had to look at it from the sort of like the top-down level and try to develop a story arc that would encompass the entire Indomitus Crusade and would feed into all those great mythic sort of themes of the Empire, the Emperor versus Chaos, and the deep time of the 40k universe stretching back to the War in Heaven and what's actually happening now, and whether or not humanity's got any hope or is doomed to extinction, and all those great, weighty, really grim, dark, miserable 40k themes that we all love to explore over and over and again. Everyone knows that the Horus Heresy is sort of like the myth of the Imperium. It is basically the founding story of the Imperium. But with this, the major difference is that this is an exciting new territory for us as writers, because we've had an awful lot of space and room to create new incidents and a new history. Really, it's more than that; it's creating a new history. But I think the most exciting thing, maybe one of the most exciting things for the fans of Warhammer 40,000, is that you don't know the ending of this, right? Everybody knows the ending of the Horus Heresy, but nobody knows what the ending of this is going to be. Nobody knows how the story is going to unfold. And I think that's a really, really cool and exciting journey to go on, you know. And even for me, I know what the overarching plot clip is that we're going to go for. But there's going to be so much stuff that comes into that and fills it out and takes it off an interesting, exciting direction. So even for me, who's deeply involved in it, right from the ground up, it's going to be a journey of discovery, and it's going to be really exciting. The Dawn of Fire series is the first part of a series which will look at the Indomitus era, the era Indomitus. So it's basically just...
Well, thank you, the internet-predicted voice of Guy Haley, and welcome back to the chat, everybody. I'm still Adam Troke, still in the Eccles, and we're
They
joined
kind
now
of
by
cut that out.
Prime, who is word wrangler to the gods, Black Library editor supremo, and heavily involved in the new Dawn of Fire series. Welcome to the chat.
Thanks for having me.
So, what can you tell us beyond what Guy has already really eloquently explained?
Well, it's a huge new series for Black Library. The Dawn of Fire, I think, as Guy noted in his offline interview, it's the biggest thing we've done since the Horus Heresy. And what's really exciting about it, amongst many things, is that it's set in contemporary 40k. It's a huge, sprawling cast of characters, some of which will be familiar to our readers, like Repute Gulliman, of course, and Belisarius Paul, who are very much the sort of poster boys of the new Imperium. But also a huge range of new characters from all different walks of Imperial life. We'll see Inquisitors, Primaris, Space Marines, of course, all kinds of fleet captains, and even the sort of lowly Imperial citizen. The great thing about the series, even given its epic nature and the sort of the sheer ambition that we've got for it in terms of the story and the kind of things we want to cover, and also the deep lore that we're really going to kind of dig into, is that it comes in at all different stratas of Imperial life, give you a really good picture as to how the Indomitus Crusade kind of came about, some of the difficulties that Gulliman faced, even with his superlative sort of knowledge and abilities that only a Primer could possibly have, and the challenges of launching and maintaining something, a crusade this size, the likes of which that hasn't been seen since the time of the Emperor and obviously his brother Primarch. So it's huge. It picks up on such massive beats, massive thematic beats that are really the sort of narrative underpinning of the 40k of the now.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I like the scope and depth of it. I wondered if you could tell us what your role in the project is specifically.
Oh, okay. Well, as the sort of Black Library managing editor, it falls to me to help sort of run the series really, and alongside Guy. Now, this is slightly different to how we've run a normal kind of series through EPL, and we've done a lot of those over the years. A lot of series that have included writers' rooms, like the Horus Heresy, like the Beast Rises. Guy's role in this is lead writer, sort of lead creative, and I'm the editorial part of that partnership, and also providing creative input. So it's my job to bring all the authors together, to lay out what the major narrative beats are going to be, together with Guy. We've worked very closely together on this project, and actually have worked together for many years, and really just make sure everything runs smoothly, and we keep surprising and delighting our fans with each novel and each new reveal and each new character, so that the Dawn of Fire really feels like the epic experience that we want it to be.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, Eddie, go on. You can jump in first.
No, I was just going to say, I'm a big Black Library fan, and I really enjoyed series like the Horus Heresy and the Beast Arises. And I think one of the things I'm excited for with this one particularly is with those stories, even though the how was a little bit up for grabs, the end result was the series was never in doubt. You know, Horus is going to face the Emperor. The Imperium's still there 8,000 years later after the Beast arises, so you know only so much can happen. But I think what I'm excited to see with this one is that we just don't know where the story. I mean, you do, but we don't know where the story's going to go. We don't know where the kind of narrative.
To some extent, he does, like you said. They're still kind of planning and everything, but yeah.
All that's rough. All that's rough.
Yeah, and I think there's something really exciting about the way that this is being done in line with that narrative that's coming out of the Warhammer studio. So essentially, Black Library and the Warhammer studio in lockstep together, coordinating like the ongoing narrative to my favourite story of all time is very exciting.
It's fantastic, and it gives us a chance to really kind of be reactive to some of the changes that are happening within. Okay, some of the awesome stuff that is being revealed today about the new edition and some of the lore that was going to come with that. We get to articulate that through these novels in a really exciting and engaging way.
Yeah.
That will hopefully surprise and delight all of our fans.
Fantastic. Ben is whispering in my ear that we have another segment coming. Nick, it has been lovely having you come and join us and talk about the Dawn of Fire series for a little bit. There'll be loads more of this revealed in the run-up to its release, and so we look forward to speaking more to you in due time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Everybody will be back right after this relatively unexciting holding screen with talk about rules.
Ooh.
Interesting. So yeah, so it's definitely interesting to see the artwork, and pretty interested in that series. We'll see how that goes. I see right now somebody's spamming a bunch of text pictures over there, so yeah. As far as the, I guess I kind of missed the Necron reveal, so I'll have to look at that in the community article, because my internet just decided to just not work for a good minute there. But I guess I don't know how loud that is on the thing. So looking at the Assault Intercessors, it definitely does seem to kind of invalidate the Reavers more. You didn't really ever see Reavers anyway. And I feel like you're just not going to see them ever, because I feel like people are going to gravitate toward these more. Plus, I mean, you can bring, with the Shock Assault rule, you bring a whole, like, everyone can have chain swords, so they're all getting extra attacks on top of it. If the Sergeant can bring a special weapon, I'm sure he probably can. Well, I know he can, at least in some of the leaked pictures, that he can bring a plasma pistol, and then I'm sure a sword, power fist, power hammer, whatever, Warhammer. So, or Thunder Hammer. There we go.
And now we are joined by a special guest to our preview show, Mike Brandt, who is joining us all the way from the United States of America.
Oh, from Nova Open.
The miracle of technology. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
It's really exciting to be on with you guys. How are y'all doing?
Yeah, good.
Good.
I'm enjoying this so much.
I was so excited to have you, Mike. I even brought my special Washington DC mug.
I love it.
It's one of the best cities.
So those of you in the chat who maybe haven't met Mike before or heard of him, or many of you will know exactly who he is. Mike is maybe best known for running the Nova Open, which is an enormous and awesome gaming convention out in Washington DC, and he's been an integral part for a few years now in playtesting Warhammer 40,000, and so we volunteered him, or he volunteered himself, one of those two, to come and to talk to us a little bit. First of all, Mike, tell us what you do when it comes to playtesting.
So it's interesting. We started playtesting maybe 4 years ago now, almost, for 8th edition, and it's been super exciting to see all the time what the design studio comes up with. I think as hobbyists, we all came in with our own ideas about how the game is designed and whatnot, only to find out how amazing those guys are about it and how passionate they are about putting forth a really epic game for everybody. And first on, I think playtesting was just a lot of people with a lot of experience playing the game and a lot of opinions. Only got so valuable. But as we were approached to start joining the design team as they were putting together the next best edition of 40K and 9, playtesting has evolved as well. And it's it's really fascinating. It includes a lot of different people. It includes people who are obsessed with the narrative and the storyline side of the game.
I feel like I'm
Folks
more.
who care a lot about the balance of the game and sort of everyone in between on the spectrum. And so we meet on a regular basis. We provide feedback to all the awesome stuff they put together. It's just really exciting to see, how they engage with the community to make sure that the product they're putting out is actually reflective of what we all care about.
That sounds great. So, what elements in particular did you guys as playtesters put attention on when you were playtesting the rules for this new edition?
So it depended on the tester, of course. A lot of us cared a lot about making sure that the rules and mechanics, and the design team really wanted to hear this from us, reflected the actual way you imagine that the units would behave. So the game, I think, due to their efforts and the feedback from playtesting, is more flavorful and more narratively fulfilling than ever before. And then I think we all worked to try and make that reflected in the missions and the terrain rules and everything else as well, so that when people were playing the game, they had an experience that was both as balanced as it's ever been, but also as narratively and aesthetically fulfilling as it's ever been. Because the studio always seeks not to create a game that's one or the other, but one where you can play the Warhammer story and feel like it's a really fun, fair, exciting experience in the tabletop as well. So we really focused on that element of connecting the two, story and feel, with a gameplay experience that's balanced and enjoyable.
That sounds great. So all of that comes together. What are you most excited to see as a result of your testing in the games of 40 for the future?
Well, anyone who knows me knows I'm a nerd about missions.
You really are.
We're super. Yeah, I can't stop talking about them.
Missions.
But I'm super excited about the missions and just about the ecosystem that Warhammer 40,000 is.
Well, this will be the segue into the Crusade thing, this new mission thing.
I hope you'll see a situation where, thanks to the work that the studios put in on it, more people than ever before are experiencing and enjoying the same Warhammer 40,000 all over the world, and really experiencing the coolest version ever. And that goes to missions and things like that as well. So I'm most excited to see those and to see how the community reacts to them.
It's a really interesting thing you just touched on there that I wouldn't mind digging into, which is in the games that I've played over the years internationally, you often find that things are interpreted or used differently, despite the fact that there's one rule set from which it all descends. What's your take on the sort of the way that different tournaments and things implement missions and things like that?
Well, having run tournaments in the past, I've often used my own missions, and many tournaments have been the same historically. And again, we've all been involved in playtesting, and the studio's been pretty remarkable in how they have themselves explored that over the past several years. They've all been at many of the big events around the world. They've all sort of traveled and gotten into the community and seen what they like and don't like. And I think what's cool about the results of all that work that they've put in is that we may see, cross our fingers. And when you go to different tournaments and things like that in the future edition of the everyone will be consuming not just the best and coolest version of the game possible, not just the best missions they've ever seen, but all very similar missions and fields. So some of that situation where the game played in Europe is different from the game played in Las Vegas, is different from the game played in Washington, D.C. That may go away and become sort of this big smorgasbord of us all enjoying the same awesome experience all over the world.
I think there's something nice about that, and in recent years, the Warhammer community generally feels like it's come together more. It feels like you now have a universal kind of global community rather than having kind of pockets of hobbyists around the world. And I think the internet's been a big part of that, but also the kind of re-engagement with the concept of playtesting and kind of bringing you guys all together to make the single best game.
Well, and you guys, to give credit where due, the Warhammer community team is pretty awesome at building.
Thanks, mate.
To be honest, it's just an honour to be part of. So there's also some exciting news, which I will break to the world, if you don't mind, which is something that maybe very few people know, is that you've actually recently joined the Warhammer community team to run our events for us, and you'll be championing Warhammer gaming events around the world in the future.
Oh wow!
That is true. It is kind of surreal. It's sort of a dream come true.
Wow.
Very unexpected situation.
That's huge.
Super exciting. And I'm super excited.
So is he still going to be doing running Nova, or is he kind of
talking about? I'm sort of
turning that over?
The ecosystem of Warhammer all around the world, so that more people are playing Warhammer more often, and sort of
I mean, if he's running all the
in every way.
events around the world, then that would mean that everybody's
narrative
playing the
experiences,
same.
the way that they can engage with the story, and of course the way that they play
The
game,
same
and
thing.
stuff with their friends.
If you have one person in charge of most events, obviously people will still have their own tournaments and events going on.
Yeah,
But
the chat is full of people saying congratulations, and I couldn't agree more. Having attended the event that you organised in Washington DC, I don't think I've ever felt more family community feel and event in my life. It was amazing, and I can't wait for you to share that on a global feeling as part of the official Warhammer community events going forward. I'm super hyped to have you on board in that chair, Mike. So congratulations and thank you for joining us. So we have more rules talk coming down the pipe in just a minute. We're going to be bringing back in the studio staff. So Pete Foley, head of the Book and Box Game studio, and Stu Black, head of Warhammer 40,000, where we're going to talk about some rules. But just one question, a little seed, if I may. I've heard rumours that you're also helping work with our team on a new Warhammer 40,000 app.
The rumors are true, Ben, that you've heard. I've definitely jumped on that. I know that the idea of a 40K app has been talked about before, but we will have one for the release of the new edition. And you guys can guess at some of the things that will have, and I'll bet you can't guess at some of the super cool features that we'll have down the road. But certainly the most obvious one is you'll be able to use it to engage with building armies and
less building.
new ways that 9th edition affects that.
Probably won't have points, just power levels, but
it's really cool to be involved with it. Should be really cool.
Very good. Eddie, anything that you want to say before the jump?
No, just to kind of give my own congratulations as well to Mike. I think we're all excited to see where Warhammer events go under your stewardship, and I've been to your event Nova as well in Washington DC, and I thought it was a great event. So I can't wait to see things like that rolled out all over the world.
I can't wait to do them with you guys.
Right, thank you everybody for staying with us. It's been great so far, and there's more still to come. We're going to have a short video, and after that, we'll welcome back the stewards of Warhammer 40,000 from the Book and Box Game Studio. Ben, hit the button.
Hello and good day. My name is James Workshop, and I am here to tell you, yes, you, 9 great things about the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Are you ready? You had better be. Now strap yourself in and let us begin.
this guy reminds me of the dude from IT Crowd or What We Do in the Show.
Warhammer 40,000 has been polished to perfection. Thousands of hours of feedback and innovation have refined the game you love into a gaming experience as smooth as a Necron's shiny head. 2. The most immersive system for narrative play ever. The all-new Crusade system links your games, earn battles, experience, and new rules for your army. It's time to toughen up, kid. Take your recruits from green to me. 3. Everyone loves command points, so now everyone gets more. Expect less soup and more super soldiers. 4. Tanks are back on track. Your armored behemoth's been getting bogged down by pesky horrid rots or squishy gaunts. No more. Tanks can shoot in combat, blast foes at point range, and keep on rolling. 5. Terrain's been rebuilt from the ground up. Want to defend a building, getting bonuses while you do? Absolutely. Want to sneak up on your opponent using terrain to block their line of sight? We've got you covered. Want to run screaming at your opponent with your chainsword raised and a hymn to the Emperor on your lips? Not completely relevant to this section of the video, but also, yes. 6. Warhammer 40,000 at every size of game. From lunch break combat patrols with your new army to crushing your friends beneath the iron boots of your full collection. We have balanced the scales. 7. Tactical power at your fingertips. Strategic reserves have changed, allowing you to strike your enemies from all angles. Think you're the cleverest general among your friends? Time to prove it, sunshine. Hit 'em where it hurts.
Interesting.
8. Big guns never tire, and firepower feels great. Explosive weapons deal maximum hits to hordes as they swarm across the battlefield, so bring your favorite guns to the party and get the job done. It's time to have a blast. 9. Aircraft take flight. soar across the battlefield, ignore intervening models, and return for another attack run. It's time for aircraft to feel aircrafty. Pew noise is optional, but highly recommended.
This is nuts.
New Warhammer 40,000 coming soon.
Tank shooting in combat is huge. The reserve thing sounds like you can come from maybe any table edge. I'm not really, that's crazy.
Hello everybody, and welcome back. I'm still Adam Troke. I'm still joined by Eddie Eccles, and we welcome back to the Warhammer 40,000 preview once again. Pete Foley, mega boss of the Warhammer Studios book and box game area.
Was this James Warhammer or whatever his name is? He reminds me of, I had to look it up, Matt Berry from the IT crowd and What We Do in the Shadows. Very similar kind of.
A video that ran through the 9 great things. Eddie, can you take us through those and talk, maybe quiz the guys on what they need to know?
Absolutely. So the first of those points that we saw is that this is the game that you love, but better with concise and clearer core rules. So guys, tell us a little bit about what that means.
Okay, wonderful talk. So we went back and looked at all the places that the core rules were causing confusion, and just took the opportunity to just really go through them and make sure that they were as crisp, as concise, as clean as they possibly could be, so we can remove any of that interpretation or anything out of them, and just smooth the whole process out of playing a game of Warhammer 40,000. And I think the guys have done a terrific job. Everything from the way it's written to the way it's presented in the rulebook is all designed to make it as easy as possible to engage with the rules.
Yeah, so as Pete was saying, one of the things, there's more examples there. So not only is the wording clearer, but actually the intent is clearer as well in different ways that we get that across, and the way that we've kind of presented it. And it's worth building on top of the point that we had earlier. It's the game you love, but better. So all your current books still all work. So we've written this with the Psychic Awakening and the codexes in mind. So you'll still be able to play on day one with your existing book collection, but you'll have an even better experience than you have done in the past.
Great stuff. So the second point there was about Crusade, which I think we touched on a couple of times. So it's a brand new way to play narrative play and to link your games together. So yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit more about how that might work in practice?
Sure. Again, so I'll always go first. Let's go with that. So right from the off, one of the things we really wanted to make better with this edition was narrative play. I think Crusade is going to be a really exciting addition to that, where you start your Crusade force at a kind of a small requisition point level, and then every game that you play will matter to your models. They'll get better. They'll get injured. They'll have new stories to tell. There's a whole range of new missions and things. Every faction as we roll through will have unique ways of interacting with Crusade, and you can play your Crusade against any of your friends, whether they're collecting match play or armies or narrative, or joining you on their Crusade. Your Crusade can kind of interact with theirs and carry on. And basically every game you play, every model you collect, every model you paint will be part of your Crusade storyline going forward. It's super exciting. I can't wait to talk about it. Show everyone it. It's going to be so much fun.
Stu, anything to add?
Yeah, it's probably one of the things that we have, as Mike alluded to earlier. We try to make sure this is the most kind of match play ready edition. But then we also really
very interested in this Crusade. Sounds cool.
I think a lot of us come from that kind of background and way of playing. That we want our armies to be personal to us, and we want our characters to become characters as you play with them. And it's given us some really interesting rule space to play with. We, as Pete alluded to, as we come across different factions, we'll build on the Crusade content in the core offer, and we'll do stuff bespoke for each faction. My favourite example is, if you're a Space Marine character that gets too badly wounded over time, you can upgrade him to a Dreadnought because it's time, for him to be interred in a sarcophagus. All those kind of things that you'd read about in the background of 40k, you'll be able to do with your miniature collection. It's a really, really exciting kind of new way of approaching that type of game.
Great stuff. So the next point was about command points, and generating command points, and generally the split of how many command points there are across the game has changed quite a lot. How does that work?
So one of the things that we really wanted to, well, that we kind of learned from 8th edition was command points are great, stratagems are brilliant fun. One of the funnest parts of playing 40k, but the way that you generated command points was causing you, the way you build your list to be a little bit skewing away from what you wanted to do, and unnecessarily punishing factions that were better fielded on their own. So we've kind of flipped that around a little bit, so that collecting from one codex will generate using command points, and then you'll unlock more codexes by using command points rather than the other way around. So it's kind of flipped on its head, and keep everybody nice and on a level playing field, whether you're playing with one book or you're dabbling with lots of different factions here.
I think a common thing a lot of people have seen, especially in like more competitive armies, was that 3 units of troops at minimum cost and then 2 characters.
The good old
almost
32.
Yeah, almost like a given. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as Pete said, particularly kind of elite heavy armies, things like Adeptus Custodes, often kind of struggled to be able to use all the cool stuff that was in their codex just because of the way that their command points were kind of generated by the detachments that you use. So it's based more on the size game that you're playing, and then you choose how you're going to spend those command points depending on the choices that you as a player make. So you can spend some of them to take other detachments, you can spend some on stratagems, but you're in control of how you spend them. But if you and I were playing a game, Eddie, we'd be starting from the same place in terms of that resource. So I think it really does encourage those kind of themed armies that people like to feel.
Great. I'm just conscious of time. We're going to crack on.
Yeah.
So there was a note there about tanks. So firing from combat and not getting bogged down by lesser enemies. What does that mean in practice?
Pretty much what you've said there. Clearly, the thing we've heard a lot is people getting very frustrated when a grot tags their tank. You can't do that anymore in quite the same way. So
the tank will kill you.
The tank, yeah, and then shoot something else as well.
Cool. Great. I think obviously people with tank armies will be very pleased to hear that. So what we've heard some terrain rules sound like they're going to change in a fundamental way. Any kind of hints at what that might bring to the game?
Yeah, so I think one of the drives of 8th edition was to try and sort of streamline everything down. One of the places where we think we overstepped that a little bit, became almost too streamlined, was the terrain rules, and we got a lot of feedback about that. And we've spent a lot of time working with the games developers, but also working outside with people who are playing the game a lot to help make terrain have a bigger impact on the game, so that it matters more.
That's why all terrain prices went up. So more people are going to be buying terrain.
Your terrain will interact with line of sight, with cover, with things like that. That will really help it have a much bigger impact.
Great. It sounds like that's good news for people who spent lots of time making beautiful battlefields as well. That it now feels like it's part of the battle.
Yeah, it ties into what you said earlier, Eddie, when you asked about, is it a good time to have close combat stuff? And the more impact terrain has on the battlefield, the easier it is for your guys to get across the board, still being alive. And so this one does really kind of help combat troops out quite a bit.
Cool. My orcs will thank you, I'm quite sure.
So mine.
so one of the things that was pointed out in there was this being a very accessible game with different sizes of battlefield. So do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah. Again, so building on what you've just said there, Eddie, I think what we wanted to do was make there to be really fun to play smaller games of 40k, as well as your kind of standard 2,000 point game, and so we kind of picked out some various sizes of game, those stepping stones through, and then focus on really making each one of them really good. So you can comfortably play a game in an hour on your coffee table rather than it always having to be 4 hours in your garage or in your dining room. But it'd be just as fun. It's still the 40k experience. It's written to make sure it's not just a stripped down version or a sanitized, simpler version. It's actually just a really fun way of playing 40k, but in an hour, and then in a couple of hours, and then in an afternoon, and then in a whole day, and you can jump in between them as you feel.
Great stuff. So the next point was on strategic reserves. So this sounds like a change to the way that maybe reinforcements will arrive. What does that look like?
Well, Stu, why don't you jump in on what I keep talking about?
there's two things about strategic reserves really. One is we wanted a way for you to protect some of your stuff until your opponents had a chance to shoot. So you'll be able to deploy units of strategic reserve that you haven't been able to in the past, and then bring them on in your turn. So it kind of gives them an opportunity to be alive. But it also means you can start to outmaneuver your opponent. So as the game goes on, you'll be able to bring troops on from the sides of the board or from behind enemy lines. And it really helps it feel more like a kind of modern combat engagement rather than two armies that have lined up opposite each other. That was the feel we were trying to get across.
Great. And then the 8th point there was about blast weapons. So this sounds like good news for anyone with maybe Lima Russes or Imperial Knights or nice big cannons.
Yeah, and less good news for orcs, I'm afraid, Eddie.
Oh, I guess there had to be some bad news in amongst it.
Yeah, blast is a new type of weapon. It's the things you'd expect to blow up lots of stuff. And they get a benefit when shooting against big units of infantry. So battle cannons, frightening missile launchers, those kind of things, whirlwinds, those kind of things now do the job that they're supposed to do, which is shoot lots of infantry.
And I suppose it helps differentiate them from some of the just like high number of shots weapons that otherwise just were previously just better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So the last point there was a slight change to the way that flyer rules are going to work.
Go on, Stevie.
Okay, so
already giggling.
A couple of things about that. So planes in 40k in the past have sometimes led to some slightly odd scenarios because of the way the game works. You can't move through their bases, and you end up in weird places where you're like, I can't move my men because there's an aeroplane in the sky, which is kind of weird. So we've kind of reworked the way that planes work so that they interact with infantry a lot more satisfyingly, and they also can fly off the board and come back later on like strafing runs. So no longer do they die if they run out of tabletop, which again just felt a little bit strange that your plane would kind of crash into an invisible force field at the edge of the board. So we really wanted to rework those from the ground up, really.
I can't stop chuckling about it when I think of the picture of the little aeroplane. Fantastic. We've talked about these 9 things, and they sound like really interesting sort of steps forward and sort of evolutionary moves to improve Warhammer 40,000. And we talked a little bit a minute ago with Mike Brandt, who you both know, about how we got involved in the playtesting, and then we hinted a little at the Warhammer 40,000 app. And I wondered, from your point of view, what there was maybe you could say about the Warhammer 40,000 app and what that means for like fans, collectors, hobbyists.
Well, I think it's going to. I mean, the new app is amazing. So it will certainly change the way people interact with their codex and interact with their game when they're playing it. I obviously don't want to steal all their thunder by telling you all exactly what it does. It's really good though, but one of the things it will really help with is building army lists easier. You'll be able to access all that content through the app and quickly build a new army list and try some stuff out. And it will track all sorts of things through the game too. So that's the big thing I'm looking forward to, is just being able to. Much like the Azure app already does for Age of Sigmar.
They have the baby.
Go 40k, it'd be great.
Okay.
For me, that ability to organise my collection really nicely and then select those units and build a killer army for every game is the thing I'm most hyped about. I've got a lot of Dark Angels that need organising. Cool. Where are we at, Eddie?
So I think one last thing that's maybe worth saying just now is we're already seeing loads and loads of questions popping up in the chat, more than we could possibly answer today. So one of the things that we are going to do, just so you guys are aware, out there in the chat, is we will be having a kind of a longer Q&A session with some guys from the studio, possibly these 2 guys we're joined with right now, this Tuesday coming up at 7 o'clock. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, we'll be posting up a tweet on the Warhammer Community Twitter page, and you can respond with your questions to that, and then we'll pick the best of them and put them to a longer Q&A session so we can dive into some of the detail of the new edition.
Yeah, if you want to get involved in that, 7 p.m. BST on Tuesday, and you can fill your boots, ask all the questions that are burning a hole in your soul about the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. And the mysterious things that Pete has written on the board behind him. I really hope you do well on your to-do list for the day, because point number 3 particularly means something to me.
Well, confirming, I would like to confirm that despite everyone picking on Adam all day, the Dark Angels are the best.
Yes, come on.
Number one.
Best Legion, best Legion. Right.
Best Legion, prototype Legion.
broke the mold, something like that. I don't know. Right. So I am looking at my hip sheet of. What we're going to do is we are going to show the awesome Warhammer 40,000 brand trailer again one more time, and then we're going to come back for a roundup and a little bit more excitement. Thank you to you and Pete for joining us. It's been lovely having you. Give us a little bit more insight into the rules, and we can't wait to see you again.
They haven't shown the bikes yet that are out there. Maybe that'll be in the article.
Cheers, everybody. Enjoy the video. We'll be right back.
Should be interesting.
In the darkness between the stars, the weak and the faithless find no deliverance.
I'm gonna go ahead and just pause here. So, still no confirmation, I guess, of the Outrider bikes that have been kind of pushed out, and the new Chaplain model that might be in the Warhammer community article, but yeah, nothing really confirmed there. Some of the rules are pretty interesting. I want to know more about the flyers. Really, other than like they can't be impeded by somebody on the ground, which makes sense. But if you were to stop, I don't know how, if it would displace the models below it or something. Yeah, it's all interesting for sure. Yeah, I don't know, very interesting stuff for sure. For the rules, the shooting thing with the tanks not getting bogged down, which is pretty cool, but I'm wondering if there's still other things that can bog them down. So obviously, like a Hormagaunt can't bog down a tank, but I don't know, a bigger tank or something else maybe can, so that'll be interesting for sure. But yeah, this is big stuff, and I'm wondering if there's gonna be another preview. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna do another live preview or what, but the fact that they haven't brought out that, like, that Chaplain, the Outriders, they haven't shown any more of like that kind of honor guard with the shields and the power swords, which is kind of like the, was it Victrix honor guard, but more of a generic version, which you'll see him in this video here, the guy with the skeleton on his shield and stuff, right there. So kind of like a generic version of the honor guard that you can use. Obviously they got a new Chaplain coming out that has like a big power sword and that one rumored thing, so obviously the idea being that he goes with them and can kind of buff them big time. So yeah, this is all very, very interesting for sure. Yeah, really cool, exciting for sure. Reavers are definitely like, I feel like after they first came out, never really saw them, and now with these assault intercessors, I don't feel like you're ever gonna see Reavers. I mean, Reavers can deep strike, but then they still would have to make a 9-inch charge. They don't have chain swords, so they're not getting the extra attack just from chain swords. So I mean, if you can throw intercessors and an impulsor to get them up the field, like, why not? Plus, I'm not sure how the new reserve rules work either, but if you put them in some kind of reserve deal, yeah, all very interesting stuff coming out here. Let's see if they come back and what they have else. If they have anything else.
We are back. I am still Adam Trope, although for a moment my name swapped over to the man who is also joining me, Eddie Eccles.
It's a great name.
It is a good name. I wouldn't have been ashamed at all. It's lovely. Welcome back, everybody. We have been through an amazing preview. We have seen so much stuff. There's one more exciting thing we want to talk about right now, and that is that the Warhammer 40,000 website has just launched. If you go over to warhammer40000.com, you can see the home of Warhammer 40,000 online. Maybe stick with us for now. It'll be there when we're done as well. This is the place where if you've ever got one of those friends who goes like, oh, what is this fight mallet that you're talking about? You can send them there to learn about Warhammer 40,000. In time, it will also evolve to become an amazing hub. We'll host that epic cinematic trailer that you just saw there, but it will grow to include brilliant, fully comprehensive how-to-play videos and a whole suite of extra things.
Yeah, absolutely. it is designed as a kind of great introduction to what Warhammer 40,000 is and kind of what the game and the setting is all about. But there's also plenty of stuff on there for you guys who already know all about Warhammer 40,000. It's well worth checking out the site because there's some Easter eggs hidden in amongst the site that we haven't shown off in the preview today, but you can kind of stumble across yourselves if you want to. So warhammer40,000.com. Nice and easy to remember.
Yeah, it's grand. So, with that out the back, we've got a little bit of conversation about a few other bits and pieces that have happened today. Stay tuned for the final teaser. Don't go anywhere.
Final
Benny,
teaser, okay.
What have we seen today? Maybe Ben can jog our memories with some
Another
some
teaser,
graphics
yeah.
as we go through the things that we've covered off.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started off today with the cinematic trailer for Warhammer 40,000, and it is just absolutely
It's not over yet.
spine-tinglingly awesome. We saw Space Marines, Sisters of Battle,
No.
Necrons, and kind of awesome fights.
They're still just talking
seeing
about
them
some of
kind
the
of
same
brought
stuff.
to life, animated, and chopping each other to bits in ways
almost
we've never
done,
seen
buddy.
before. So very exciting. I love that trailer. I'm going to go back and watch it when this is over again, just because it's great.
I think it's a testament to how fun it is that as it was on and we were waiting for the next segment, we were going, no, this is my favourite bit, and discussing
Yes, quite. Yeah, so that was very cool, and obviously that led into the reveal of some brand new miniatures, which with the characters in some instance features in that trailer, and also the hint that possibly the rest of the stuff we haven't seen in that trailer may well be coming in miniature form in the not too distant future. So a Primaris Assault Intercessor, that's right, chainsaws are back, and this guy looks like he's absolutely ready to make a charge into the middle of some heretic line and start chopping guys up.
Also, huge shout out to whoever did the paint job on that. It's amazing.
It is glorious, yeah. And I think as well, particularly for close combat oriented Space Marine chapters, we'd be very keen to include plenty of those in their army. You know, you'd look great in Zealous Black or Bloody Red or Fenrisian Guys Grey. You can paint in green if you want, Adam, that's fine. I'm sure you can paint it green. But then obviously we saw some brand new Necron Warriors. So that these guys, again, a very cool looking
new warriors, that's
they
cool.
have a much more kind of hunched, decrepit,
Got an update.
gothic horror sort of feel to them. They are not the shiny robots that we maybe saw previously or have seen previously for the Necrons. These are very much undead. Automata creations, and they've got kind of like rusted bits and missing eyes, and the animation protocols haven't quite worked properly, and they're swarming with like these little techno scarab things. Just a really cool unit with some brand new weaponry as well, which will be very keenly accepted into their arsenals by Necron players.
Yeah, no doubt. I also like the fact that we were hinted at with Stu Black that some of the other things you see in the trailer will be transitioning onto our tabletops very soon as well. And then there's this Dawn of Fire series, the first novel of which is revealed.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a brand new series from Black Library about Warhammer 40,000. Excitingly for fans of the lore, this is a collaboration between the studio and Black Library, where we will see the kind of the current narrative of Warhammer 40,000 explored in a lot of detail from every perspective, all the way through from like the Primarch, the Belisarius, the kind of major players of the 41st millennium, all the way down to the kind of humble citizens, in the same style as a series like the Horus Heresy or the Beast Arises. But I think excitingly for me, and I hope for other Black Library fans as well, we don't know where this narrative is taking us, and it will be contemporary with the timeline of Warhammer 40,000 as it unfolds.
Yeah, I think this is the chance. There's often those conversations and questions. Do you remember where you were at the time when you learned about the Horus Heresy for the first time, or whatever? We're treading new ground here, and I love that the Black Library team and the Warhammer studio are working sort of hand in hand to forge this future narrative for the game that we love.
Yeah, and I think as well that first novel there by Guy Haley, I don't know how familiar you are with some of his recent books, but there have been some absolutely great books from Guy Haley recently.
Yeah.
I'm particularly fond of some of his stuff with the Blood Angels and with Dante. If you haven't read those books already, and you're looking for something to read over the next few weeks while you're awaiting this, you couldn't do much better than Guy Haley's Dante series.
Yeah, a fantastic shout out. And then to accompany the brand new edition of Warhammer 40,000 that we announced today, we also announced the development of a Warhammer 40,000 app.
Absolutely. So Warhammer 40,000, the app, we've talked about this a little bit in the past before. This has been in development for quite some time. Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the kind of sister system, already has a very good app, which is kind of an invaluable companion to anyone who plays Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I think it's almost a given that if you're a fan of that game, you have it on your phone. Warhammer 40,000, the app, intends to be everything that does and more. So this will be, make some space on your device now, because this is going to be a kind of invaluable tool for anybody who likes Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, I agree. There we go. And here is the website that we just mentioned. A sensible piece of advice would be, if you want to follow all the latest news about the upcoming new edition of Warhammer 40,000 and really be up to date, sign up for the newsletter on there. I think there's going to be some cool things happening with that in the next few weeks. And so if you want to be sort of there on the ground floor, sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah, so the newsletter basically will give you the updates whenever there is any major news about Warhammer 40,000. So when it's ready to pre-order, when we've made some big announcements, when anything about the new stuff that's coming out, that will kind of keep you up to date. But obviously we'll still be telling you about it on all the usual places too, so community site and Facebook. But it's just another way to stay up to date. And that website, as we said before, will also have is well worth checking out just because it's full of cool stuff. And a few little hints about what's
I was going to say, maybe there's an Easter egg or two lurking in there. I think somebody in the chat may have spied them, so make sure as soon as you're done here, you go and check it out.
I mean,
but not before.
Some Necron stuff and the Honor Guard or whatever.
Final thing we might have to show you.
Have we reached that point?
I feel like we might have.
Okay.
We've told you about the brand new edition. We've shown you some of the awesome new models of Space Marines and Necrons that are coming. We've talked about some of the changes. 9 great things for the new edition. 9 things? 9th edition? I see what they did there.
I thought we would have gone straight to X edition like they did with Power Armor.
Right. We've talked about Dawn of Fire, the ongoing narrative for Warhammer 40,000 and how that's going to be propelled forward throughout this edition. We've talked about the Warhammer 40,000 after it's on its way. I think we're there. What remains is to thank everybody who's tuned in from all around the world. It has been thrilling to see you calling in your locations, giving shout-outs for the things you love and are excited about. And for Eddie and I, it's been a real delight to share this time with you.
It was, yes, sorry, that was. Oh, that's all right, cute.
It's been great. I'm not sure I've evolved the cubes. What I would say,
yeah.
One last
You
video,
wanna watch this?
and we'll leave you with it.
It's werewolves as we have the werewolves. Let's come watch werewolves more.
Q&A session will happen on Tuesday at 7 p.m. PST with the studio folks. And we'll see you again very soon. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Okay.
Please for the final show.
Are they gonna show it again? Show it again. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if they showed this before or not, but I did not see this.
No, this.
Wow. This is that Silent King. Oh, nice. A new Satan. Silence will reign. Yeah, the new Silent King. This Satan coming out. The new shard. Maybe the one from the Great Work.
No, I'm gonna get this.
Okay. So they're showing it again. So that's pretty cool looking. I wonder if that's the same shard that is like coming back for revenge. That's from Bersarius Crawl, the Great Work.
Mommy.
No, it's coming. Yeah. So a lot of interesting stuff there. I'm definitely gonna give like another abridged version breakdown of the Warhammer community article.
Daddy.
Okay.
I want to die when we do this.
Okay. And give my kind of thoughts and my abridged meat and potatoes version of that. So, what?
I want to.
What was your favorite part? Do you know?
Nummy.
Nummy? Okay. When she ate her nummy, so when you had a cinnamon roll? Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Again, look for that kind of abridged version of the Warhammer community article and some more thoughts there. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Check out the Facebook page and the link below. And until next time, say bye.
Bye. Daddy. Daddy big.